welcome to our first ever computer science live show. We're here to talk about all things computer science in Fulton School District and beyond. And so as we meet and talk, we want to kind of share some ideas about computer science, as well as how maybe it applies to the classroom, as well as what it means to certain people, like our special guests that we try to bring on, teachers and students. So today I'd like to introduce a special friend, a teacher who does great things in the classroom, tries to always stretch himself with computer science, and runs a great robotics club. And so his name here is Clinton Mosley. Come on, Clinton.
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good to see you.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
So I just want to kind of ask you a few questions and see, kind of pick your brain on what you think about computer science, so we can have our viewers chime in and see what your brain looks like when it comes to that. So,
right on. It's a beautiful thing. My brain is a beautiful thing. So.
It is a beautiful mind.
That's
right. Beautiful mind. So, computer science is all out there. We have from little robotic toys to different coding apps to crazy applications that people are building and creating and even being entrepreneurs of. So, question for me is how important do you think computer science should be for students?
I think computer science is extremely important for students because it allows them that exposure to the back end of how things are made, whether it's apps on a phone, whether it's their video game, Xbox, PS4. There's a whole back end that's happening, and it's all related to computer science. And I think that exposure gives them a better appreciation for why their devices work the way they do. Especially as technology is moving so quickly, we need those people in that exposure. They need to see that, so that that may be the field, the pathway they may want to go into and find that they discover a passion about it. So I think if it wasn't there, there's a whole level of excitement and creativity that they would be missing out on. And I always find that to be tragic when students don't get an opportunity to discover their passion. And I really truly believe that computer science could be a pathway where someone who hasn't discovered their passion yet will. So, yeah.
Word. All right, like that. I think the difficulty comes a lot of times when people think computer science is like this big, word that they either have to master before they do. I think it's very difficult for sometimes people to find a way to say, how do I bring it into my classroom, because I'm not an expert. So I guess my question to you would be is, what other ways would you like to incorporate computer science in your classroom that maybe sparks ideas for teachers that have no launching point on how to get going beyond just those things you can buy and dabble in our code, things like that, but a bigger picture, like never thought of this, but this could be a place that it's a good entry point.
Yeah, well, first off, computer science is a language, and so what's important is it's a language that really engages students because they're already doing those things. Like I'd mentioned, video games that they're already playing, or apps on their phone. Those are things that are already engaging students. It's what they're into. They're growing up that way. And so when a teacher understands that it's a language, just like music is a language, then what happens is it allows them to just have kind of like a basis. Okay, it is a language, but what does that language do? And when they understand what that language does, it's not so intimidating. See, that's the thing with all languages. I don't know if you've ever learned a language before. I have. Spanish is tough. I'm still practicing it. But once you understand kind of how that language works, pieces of it, it gets easier and easier to get creative when you speak. It's the same thing with computer science. When you understand how that language works, then you can begin to internalize it and make it your own. And then the exciting part happens. You get to be creative. And so that's the goal I believe all teachers want to get to with students. They get to that space of creativity, because I believe that that's where passion begins to happen and mastery begins to happen. So yeah, I won't lie, it's a challenge, it's a steep curve, it's tough, but the rewards are totally worth it when a student discovers that passion.
Sure. So what are some maybe a few ideas you would want to try, maybe not doing now, but like you want to incorporate into your classroom?
I've always loved choose your own adventure stories, and I have dabbled with creating your own choose your own adventure using Java. And I won't lie, I'm a big nerd, and I spent hours trying to get this thing to work, but when I had pieces of it, like fighting different orcs and it's taking out the hit points, I got all excited. That's how I would love to incorporate students and C students using Java or Python, creating their choose your own adventure games, taking their stories and making them come to life. Another thing is I'm super passionate about gaming and gamification. I would love to see students creating their own video games and coding their own games. And then sharing it with the world. Like that'd be my dream. And the district, because our district is amazing in supporting teachers to do stuff like that, to think outside the box that way. I would absolutely love to do that. And time, that's always the killer. You can agree with that. Time's always the killer. But I would love to be able to have the time and the support to be able to make those ideas happen. Yeah, for sure.
And what I love about you is I know that you're always willing to try something, regardless of not about success and failure, but just to try. And that in one area, if it failed, the learning of that is actually the best part. So I know you're going to do it, and I know it's going to be filled with success and failure. But
absolutely. Just to see if you can, man. That's the goal.
Awesome.
Right on.
All right. So we have our first teacher guest, Clinton, and another segment we like to throw in, actually, is what we call Road to the Robot Nation. And that is coming up in 3 weeks, May 18th and 19th, I'm sorry. And so if you haven't heard about that, it's kind of what we were sharing right now. It's about offering exposure and experiences for students to be creative and learning something that is related to computer science that will hopefully spark it and continue to foster it and continue to grow. And so we have a guest today, a student guest, that will help us with a little bit of explanation of one of our challenges. So would you like to introduce our special guest?
I would love to. So our student guest comes straight from Maple Elementary, and I'd like to call up my student, my 4th grade student. Come on over here, please. Thank you, my dear.
Fatima.
And, sorry, say that. What is your name?
Fatima Ferrer.
And what school are you from?
Maple Elementary.
And who's your teacher?
Mr. Mosley.
That's me. What is your favorite thing about robotics? About being in our robotics club? What's your favorite thing about being in our robotics club?
Working in team.
Working in a team? Okay. And what is your favorite thing about working in a team?
Testing and improving our codes.
And do you ever get frustrated when you're testing?
Yes.
And so tell me a little bit about that. What happens when you're getting frustrated? Does your teacher help you at all? What does that look like?
He helps us understand what we're doing, and lets us to fix our mistake.
And does he give you the answer to that mistake? Does he help you out?
No.
Okay, so what does he do?
He looks at our code and tells us about the numbers, then lets us fix it.
Okay. And does he ever ask questions to make sure, or does he give you the answer, or does he just ask questions?
Ask questions.
And is that ever frustrating?
Yeah.
So what are you looking forward to at Robot Nation? What are you looking forward to doing?
Compete.
Okay. And is there a particular event that you're looking forward to competing in?
BattleBots.
Oh my gosh, that sounds intense. Do you have a name for your team? Okay, what's the name of your team?
The Donuts.
The Donuts. Okay, I like that. That's intense. That sounds intimidating.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go into some of the events. Tell me what we're looking at right here, Fatima.
The line racer.
And for the line racer, what is the objective? What do we want to accomplish?
Our goal is to get the robot to follow all the line to the finish line with a color sensor.
And is there a specific time that we're trying to shoot for here?
Around a minute.
Around a minute. Okay, or faster. Is that about right?
Yes.
Okay. So are you ready to demonstrate what this is going to look like?
Yes.
All right, let's go to work, girl. All right, so Fatima, right now, you got this right on the start. Is that correct, girl? Go ahead and nod. Okay, great. Now, when I say go, because you know what? We got to time this. I won't lie. I want to make sure that we got the time. All right? Don't be smiling. What do you think your time is going to be on this? 15 seconds?
50.
Awesome. We'll do for 50 seconds. Okay, get ready. So I got my stopwatch ready. Get your finger on the trigger. We're going to hit start. When I say 3, 2, 1, you're going to go. Are you ready? All right.
3, 2, 1, go. All right, we got this box going. Does that look pretty fast to you?
Yes.
Would you make any changes? What are some things you do probably to change that?
On the when it goes straight, it keeps on just turning, and I'm trying to make it just go straight and on the turns.
Like, so have it go a little smoother on the straighter parts. Gotcha. It's looking good. It's working its way around. Oh. Here we go. We're at 55 seconds. This is the tough part right here. Let's go! What do you want to do with computer science? What are some things you're thinking about for future?
Being a doctor.
And do you see probably robots in your future, maybe some computer science in the field of being a doctor?
Yes.
And what is something do you think that might be? What would robotics, what place or what would robots do in your field as a doctor? What do you think it would do?
It's if someone lost a arm or leg, a robot hand can help them.
Possibly get their hand back?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying that maybe if they lost a leg, that maybe a leg could give them their mobility back. That's awesome. Well, Fatima, I want to thank you for being here. And we really appreciate you. Is there anything you want to say as an end to Robot Nation?
That a lot of people should try it, and it's really fun, and you can learn more about math.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Fatima, we'll see you later.
That was awesome. Thank you, Fatima. Thank you, Clinton. Always a pleasure. I really
Yes, sir.
appreciate just you joining us and sharing a little bit about computer science and for what it means to you, and getting a little information about Robot Nation. So
Absolutely.
I look forward to seeing you at Robot Nation and
we'll be
seeing
there.
how Maple does in
Yeah.
the grand scheme of things.
We're going to have a good time.
Yeah,
That's
we
what
will.
it's all about, man.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank
Jason,
you again,
appreciate it.
Clinton.
Right on.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
And so every week we're going to try to bring something to light about computer science and what it means to us and how it could be used, or just maybe food for thoughts. One thing we got out of today is that if you are afraid or just worried or hesitant, like Clinton was mentioning, it's like a language. Don't be afraid. The best place to fail is with computer science because it's meant to fail. With failure, you learn a lot. So I'd like to challenge you to get out there and get some support, get some ideas, and just try it out. You don't know anything until you try, right? That's what they always say. So we'd like to challenge you guys to try something related to where kids can experience the behind the scenes or what's under the hood of things when it comes to computer science related field, and or not, because whether you know it or not, maybe something has something computer related to it at all times. So give it a shot. Robot Nation is coming in 3 weeks, and so we look forward to all those challenges, all the schools, all the students preparing, all the teachers. It's going to be a great event again. And we're going to see some epic battles, races, and hopefully a lot of recognition. So join us next week. We'll try to explain some more of the challenges, and we'll have a new guest and host. So join us next week. So thanks for joining us. Until next week.